give back my time to Ms. Wilson.
Chair Owens, thank you. I find it incredibly hypocritical and a double standard that my Republican colleagues welcome government bailouts for banks and other industries, but not for hardworking students. We recently bailed out Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank and didn't hear a peep from my colleagues, Republican colleagues, not one solitary word. There was no outrage when we bailed out the airline and the car industries. There was no opposition to the nearly $2 trillion tax handout to the ultra-rich. There wasn't a single Republican press conference to express concerns over members of Congress having their PPP loans forgiven. We know who they are. It was all over the news. But my Republican colleagues support bailouts for everyone but our students. It's an ugly double standard. Our children deserve a break. Higher education provides so many benefits to the American society and to the economy. Mr. Corral, I've heard several times that my colleagues across the aisle that the reforms instituted by the Biden administration are unfair to taxpayers who did not attend college. This is obscene because very few federal programs will affect every single person in this country. Why is it important for the Department of Education to implement targeted relief programs such as one-time debt relief and IDR account adjustments for borrowers?
Thank you so much for the question. We've seen student debt get to a point where it is challenging not just for borrowers, but for their families, for their communities, when borrowers are struggling to buy a home, to start a business, to save for retirement or their children's college. And that's particularly true now as we are emerging from the pandemic. And so the relief that the president is offering borrowers will help strengthen the economy, encourage people to go to college and have benefits for not just borrowers, but also their families and communities.
Thank you. Mr. Cordray, in 2021, I hosted a briefing with the Barred Prison Initiative highlighting the importance of higher education in reducing recidivism amongst formerly incarcerated individuals. With Pell Grant eligibility for incarcerated individuals arriving in July, how will FSA ensure equitable and widespread access to these newly available funds?
Thank you, Ranking Member Wilson. And I know this is a priority that you and the chairman share, which is second chance for people and an opportunity through education to better their lives. This is something the department also shares and takes very seriously. And we've been working on this on a number of fronts. Mr. Quall could speak more specifically to what we're doing through the rulemaking process to try to improve the opportunities for people in that situation. And it is something that we're glad to keep you posted on exactly what our progress will be, but it is a priority issue for the department.
Thank you. Mr. Quell, I was pleased to see that last year the department moved forward with regulations to eliminate most instances of interest capitalization for federal direct loans. Can you share more about the harms of interest capitalization for borrowers and their loan balance, and share why it is important and crucial to eliminate it?
Well, it's a challenge we often hear from borrowers, including the one you referenced in your opening statement, who see their loan balances grow and grow, often even when they're making the payments that they're required to make, the payments that they can afford. So through regulation, we took a look at requirements at which interest was capitalized, which would mean we would charge interest on interest, to try and reduce that impact of having borrowers get deeper and deeper in debt. We are also proposing in our new student loan repayment plan to make sure that if you are making the payment that's required, you don't see the loan balance grow over time nonetheless.
Thank you. I was Go ahead. I was pleased to see that the president's budget includes a second year of funding for post-secondary college completion fund for retention and completion grants. Can you speak more on the importance of utilizing evidence-based practices to improve student post-secondary outcomes and why this is a priority for the department?
Well, one of the exciting things we've seen in recent years is that colleges and universities are finding more ways to help many more students graduate and go on to a career and a better life, students from all kinds of backgrounds. So we're very grateful for this investment to help more colleges do the things that work and bring opportunities to more students from all backgrounds.
Thank you. Thank you so much to both
Thank
of
you. I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to also, before I get started, I'd like to submit this to the record, debt